How's everybody doing? Still trying to manage the situation, doing the lighting. I must be either really on point with my shit or not. Uh, when you go through this kind of difficulty, obstacle, you must be doing something right. I always think this is kind of dark, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. How are you doing? I know. I have to surround myself with, nature. I got a couple of nice, bushes of roses and flowers. Because I've been through it. I have been through it. And this hacking with Instagram and all the money they've been racking. The good thing is that they found, and I want to say too that uh, Keisha Farmer, like I mentioned before, found who it was, got the emails, compiled the data, and gave it to the police. Badass. Keisha Farmer. Shout out to Keisha Farmer, child of Oshun in her channel. Yeah, she's the administrator for the People's Astrologer. Fantastic, fantastic. So we're going to prosecute and we're going to sue and we're going to give the money back to those people who've been disenfranchised by this scam in my name. Oh, terrible. The stress, the blisters are returning. And all the pain, the stress returning. I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to marshal through. And I tell you, for me to go through what I'm going through, I have to be a winner. I've already won. You don't go through shit and trials and stuff like this and not win. As my mouth is burning and flaring up with the stress and blisters, I'm like, fuck you, fuck you. And it's funny. My anger is my source of strength, but I know how to use anger. A lot of people say, "Oh, anger isn't good." No, no. We have anger for a reason. It's an energy source, and when that every moon every comes out, I'm at my strongest, and I feel like I burn in my periphery all the shit that's inconvenient and getting in the way. And that's why I suffer sometimes a lot of inflammation, inflammatory type of that. That's the fire, hey, you get the good and the bad. We're living in a world of duality, polarity. I wish we didn't have to. And now I'm like, I'm telling you, because it burns me. But I've dealt with chronic illness my entire life. So what doesn't destroy you makes you stronger and makes you almost Superman. And I have a couple of stripes. You know, um, so I'm gonna be like, fuck you, I don't care, blister and all. I'm gonna smoke my split, have my little drink. Again, liqueur with a soda, no alcohol. Remember, I got the surgery, the second part, on December 17th. So I can't fuck around. Another person died, age 57. Another was, I've had 8 people die on me around their Saturn return times. That also adds a certain level of stress too, considering that I'm in the same age bracket and Saturn is around the corner. But I don't get a feeling of morbidity. It's just the trial and the law. Oh Lord, and I won't mind it so much if I had a little respite. But I am thankful. I am thankful. Let me say that and then put out into the universe. I'm thankful and grateful because it could be worse. But it's a Friday night. I want to enjoy Friday night and have a good time and relax. It doesn't even feel like a Friday. Does it feel like a Friday to you? It don't feel like a Friday to me. It feels like a Monday. Oh God, it's fierce, one thing after another. It's fierce, merciless, and unforgiving. Now, either I must have been a real asshole in a past life to warrant this, or some bigger task lays ahead of me that requires this type of shit for me to develop the discipline to meet that tomorrow, whatever that may be. I mean, you have to find a coping mechanism to look at what makes things happen to you and try to find the rationale about them. Because if you don't, let me tell you, it will get you crazy, make you crazy. Absolutely. Mm. You all remember I used to listen to music, have my headset, listen to my music, do my cha 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 cha, and that's a thing of the past. You know, the Saturn has taken away slowly every enjoyment aspect of what I'm doing. It's almost like, will he continue to do this if I take this away? Or if I take this away? What if I make him not get paid for years? I didn't get paid for YouTube for 3 years. And I still did the work. Virgo, we're very dedicated. For us, it's about the work, not the money. And because we put the work first, the money always comes. If you have problems with money, whatever it is, act like you don't have that problem and do what you got to do and watch the money come. There's a science to this. The book, The Secret, talks about that. It talks about that, you know, and you have to believe that because that was why our astrologers here for. We put those machinations in place, and we are priests to the gods who lay out the foundation of how things are going to flow down here. And we are the advisors that help you along to that evolution. That is the true job of an astrologer or shaman or hierophant or mystic. But we are going to jump right in and we are going to talk about the sacral chakra. Unfortunately, I will not be able to say hello to you guys. I can't see you. It's backwards because, again, another fuck up of Saturn. I can't fix it. It's Friday, no one's around. You know, so I have to manage it as best as I can. I don't even know if I'm in the right focus or right alignment. There's no way. I mean, it's severe. What's been happening to me has been very severe and unforgiving. But the tougher it is, the more resilient I am to succeed. And I want you to see that. I want you to see that and see that. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to win. I've already won. That you gotta go up. You gotta act like a god, you know, in human form. And I do practice what I preach. And that's why I show it to you, right? Open, up and open. And I just remember too, let me just a little bit. My YouTube went live for about 9 seconds, and it went into my computer where there was porn, you know, and that was the outcome. They're like, I don't give a fuck. Okay, yeah, put the porn there. Yeah, let them. Yeah, I watch all kinds of porn. That's right. That's right. That's I got to release and something like that. What gotta be human, man? Gotta be human. So what? You know, they ain't gonna be. They're gonna be. That's right. Now you see, I am transparent to, front, in, out, beyond, and through. I don't hide no shit. Not at 54 years old. That'd be sad. But that was a fluke. And I wasn't even, that was I said I was up for a couple of days. You know how you don't close it, but you don't put it in there. And sometimes, you know, pornography now gets me bored. Because eventually you get tired of it. You grow out of it. You know, and sometimes when I do sex magic or tantric sex, where you masturbate, you don't ejaculate, you hold it in because it's energy. Sometimes you do have to use visuals and stimulants, and for me, sometimes I use pornography sites. Sure, nothing wrong with that. It is as natural as drinking water. So when the alcoholics did that, I'm like, really? You think that's gonna make me? Oh, yeah, really, really? I hope they looked at it, and I hope they take pictures, and I hope they zoomed and took a picture. All right? Because sometimes you got to show the demon that ain't nothing you do that's going to throw you off. Control begins and ends with you. And like I said, 25% of life is what happens to you, 75% is how you respond. And I'm going to show you that response. Sometimes it can be good, bad, a little bit in between. That's all part of being human. That's all part of being a human being. So don't rob yourself of that because we're human. And I think being human is the gift that God gave us. And what we do with it, what we do with our human life, is our gift to God. I mean, to me, it seems really obvious. The guys ain't gonna like no wimp. The guys ain't gonna like nobody who's not fully actualized. The guys are gonna like someone who's like, hey, no, like a hustler, player. That's why I think the guys like the bad guys because the bad guys get things rolling. The good guys keep things tall. That's boring. You get bored eventually of it. The bad and the bone, the good, the bad, and a little bit of the ugly. That now the guys are popping because now it's excitement, it's energy, and then you're in a situation where you reinvent yourself or rediscover yourself or transform yourself. There's always room for growth and evolution. And that's what the gods want to see. They want to see how we evolve and how we evolve from all kinds of situations to transcend earthly matter, carbon matter, and in doing so, transcend also Jehovah, the God of this system, who has made it where in order to obtain bliss, we have to go to pain. Hey, it is what it is, right? Again, I'm sorry I can't look at the chat, say hello to you guys, because it took me so long to put the tablet like that. Because you know what happened to my phone, my cell phone? Because I was recording to the phone before, but mysteriously, I have no internet. I get to get a phone call, but I can't get internet. And Spectrum, my carrier, which is brand new, and I got a Wi-Fi in my apartment. They don't know why. They don't understand why. But now my phone, all of a sudden, is inoperable. The internet. You could call, no internet. And I was using the phone to record the videos, but the tablet stopped working and the laptop. Now again, and this is my second laptop and my second time sending it to Dell to see what's going on. These are all again negative energy blocking, and then this scam that you play with Instagram. Although those are called psychic attacks, spiritual. I'm under spiritual attack by very powerful enemies. But then again, what good is it to have an Aries moon or be in Aries if you're not given the proper energy to fight that off with? You see, so it depends on the perspective on how you look at it. I'm a very strong man in every sense of the word. And to complement that strength, the universe has to send an equal level of adversity to match that level of strength. And that's with anything. It's about checks and balances. Now, I don't give up. I'm very resilient, but I have very mighty enemies that don't give up and as equally as resilient as I am. So, and it's a battle of wills and it's a battle to the end. And like I told you, I'm already in here a winner. I don't let no doubt of that. I'm too cardinal for that. And speaking about that, that uh, leads to today's topic of the sacral chakra, because the sacral chakra is about foundation. I'm sorry, not the sacral chakra, the root chakra. Both are foundational chakras, but the cornerstone that holds the sacral together is the root chakra. Even though we do ascribe them both to female and male genitalia, respectively, the sacral being the female genitalia and the root being the male genitalia. So you stop working, no explanation, and no rescue. And that got spectrum right around the corner. And they didn't know what to do. Oh my God, when you see that, you hear that, that's another pow. Oh, it's fierce. Well, I get hit hard. I do. I get hit hard. Well, they can hit as hard as they want. Because they hit so hard is why I'm already a winner. Because you're coming for me and I'm already awake at 4 in the morning waiting for you. I mean, it's fucked up that it's a warrior type of life. But that's Aries. That's the sun and the moon in Aries. Now, a lot of Aries, And the root chakra that we are going to talk about today, we are going to identify that energy of Aries and Pluto, because both Aries or Mars and Pluto, the planet, both planets rule the root chakra. So this is not in sync or out of sync of what we're going to talk about today. And God, the root chakra is so. The root chakra is tricky, just like the sacral chakra. But at least with the sacral chakra, you can pretty much direct the energies wherever you want and somewhat manipulate it. With the root chakra, the problem is that if there is no foundation to begin with, due to trauma, abuse as a child, it doesn't allow the other chakras to develop normally. And then what happens is that the function of the root chakra that's supposed to be specific, gender specific, because if you're a female with a problem with the root chakra, the way to fix it has to be to the sacral. If you're a man with a root chakra problem, it has to go directly there. But if you have a sacral chakra problem, you still have to go to the root chakra. Because the root chakra is the foundation. It is the foundation of everything. And with that, what? No. My archives are telling me that I should say hello to you and fuck the arrangement. Just say hello to you. Really? Okay, bro. Okay, they're the boss. Okay. When they ask me to do something directly of the planet that I had in mind, then I have to do it. And of course, ring the 7 bells, which represents the 7 planets. Today's Friday, Venus, Oshun. That explains the roses, the flowers. So every Friday we strike the bell. Usually I do it privately. I don't do it on the air. But they want me to do it now. If this is a blessing for all of you. All right. Okay. Here we got one for the male gods. Because I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. This one for the female gods, goddesses. It's when I'm under stress, I spend $100 in flowers, roses, and I nurture myself with nature. I am a Virgo. I'm a nature boy. So this is what brings me to balance. Since I also am a Virgo and also symbolize earthly beauty through the soul, not the physical, as in physical attraction, lust, and all that kind of. No, no. This is spiritual beauty. Okay, let us get my. I hope you like the Virgo video, and we are going to begin, guys. Guys and gals, guys and gals. Oh my! Oh, there we go. It fell off. It always happens. It always happens. I hope it doesn't break this flower. This is their way of gaining attention. And you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it. I tell you, the life of a shaman is never easy. You're dealing with all kinds of forces. And you just have to marshal through it. And whatever you do, don't let it get you angry. Don't let it get you frustrated. Because that is how the archons feed off of you. They feed off of you out of angry emotions or all kinds of negative emotion. This arrangement took me an hour to put together. By dropping it, I will get angry and release ectoplasm, which is how the archons feed off that energy. When you don't give them that, they get angry. And the fact that I'm letting you know this, it doesn't help either because now they know that I'm discussing it. Because I'm that bad motherfucker like that. I don't care. And because I know what they are doing, I don't concede. So maybe this arrangement will be far better than the original one that I did. It's all in the perspective and how you look at things. Uh, Again, how you respond is everything. So let this be a lesson, albeit inconvenient, but that's okay. We'll get past the inconvenience. It's only for a moment. And then you keep it rolling. If you can do that, then you are on your way to self mastery. You cannot let things distract you, and you cannot let things throw you off. Once you really realize that and you can master that, then you're on your way to self mastery. And that means that once you can do that, then you can master others. When you can control and master yourself, you can master others by default, not that you want to. But that is what we create. I think that's much better than before. There you go. That's all. I'll do some water. Never let anything get the best of you, because that is the intent. There you go. All right. All right. Are you archons happy now? Okay. Yeah. You didn't get your feed. So you all know how we do. Yeah, because until you have to deal with the demonic, you have to deal with it. As a shaman, as a priest, a magic, you have to deal with them. You have to control them, like Solomon controlled them with his ring and was able to build the temple in Jerusalem with these demons, archons. Oh God, you don't know half the story. If you knew, you'd be tweaking too. If you really know how the Solomon's temple in Israel was built, ooh, by demons. And it's in the Torah. They tell you in your fucking face. They put it in your face. But it's so outrageous that people don't believe it. But I showed you mine. They're real. Fears. Fear. Hi, darlings. Let me move over here, okay? All right. The sacral chakra. Oh, the vault. The vault. Yes. Yes. With the 7 stones of earth. Okay. Let's put you over here, my dear, because I don't want your lovely stems to break. I'm gonna put you back here. Yes. And you go right here. Yeah, I'm not a little congested. It's okay. There we go. There we go. Yes, and now I'm gonna go for a minute. Wait for a minute. There we go. Okay. Let us let us begin with the sacred chakra. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes, sacred chakra, please, please, please. Come over here. Like Harry Potter, the book that eats, and this is they get similar. Mm-hmm. Very Harry Potter. Mhm. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, done that. Yeah, done that. Yes, yes. Okay. The root chakra. Okay, it's a lot of material, so I write all this down in the book of shadows. Okay. The first chakra is the root chakra. It lies in between the scrotum and the anus. It is also what they call for the male the G spot. If it's the sacral chakra, it is the G spot, which is further into the vagina or into the cervix, and is defined by a particular hymen with the woman, the G spot. Men have a G spot as well, and it is located in the root chakra, in between the scrotum and the rectum. It is here that begins the male reproductive psychomotor function of procreation and the management of the procreative forces. For the female, it is the sacral chakra. The first chakra represents the foundation in which the other six chakras rest. It is the footstool of the gods. It says in the Bible, in the book of Kings, First Kings, heaven, my crown is heaven, and the earth is my footstool. So therefore, the footstool for man is the root chakra. Spiritual ascension cannot happen if the root chakra is blocked. The powerhouse of the human body is the root chakra. You will have a tree, a birch tree, or a dogwood tree, or a red forest tree. Or better yet, the eucalyptus tree has the longest root on earth. There is no other tree on planet earth that has roots that can go all the way down to the core of the earth. Do you know how far in miles the core of the earth is? No tree species, for the exception of the eucalyptus tree, can hit its roots, cannot go that far down to the core, the iron core of our planet. The only tree whose roots can reach that far down to the core of our planet is the eucalyptus tree. And the eucalyptus tree has tremendous curative properties, magical properties too. Oh yes, loved and great tea. Yes, and it re-jumpstarts the immune system. Mm, mm, mm. Dr. Sable had a lot to say. The man who found the cure for AIDS and found the cure for lupus, found the cure for Hodgkin's neuroma. He found a lot of cures and they killed him. Listen, illness is a big business, and he was bad for business, just like we were bad for business with the church. Okay, there's a reason for everything. Okay, so yes, spiritual ascension cannot occur if the root chakra is blocked, because spiritual ascension begins here. We're going to talk more about that later. The root chakra, it rules the survivor instinct in you. It rules self-preservation and the self-preservation principle and the preservation of our species. So far, oh God, there's so many things. Yeah, we're gonna go down the wrong way. Survival is number one. The basic instance of survival. The strength of the physical body, sex, self-interest, and prosperity. He also rules judgment and the ability to experience joy and earthly pleasures. It represents earthly manifestation of the ego. The sleeping chambers of the, well, yeah. So I say this. Yeah, the sleeping chambers of the self. But that's a riddle. I guess I will unravel it later. Grounding, stabilizing, and directed flow of energy. It represents the scaffolding for the ego and the personality. Interesting. If you remember the solar plexus, the video on the solar plexus, I talk about um, the seat of the ego and the personality is the solar plexus. It is the area of personal power, but the culmination of that power occurs in the solar plexus, where the ego and the personality is now defined. But the germinal seed that sprouts here begins at the root chakra, which belongs to Scorpio, Pluto, and the eighth house, but also Mars, Aries, and the first house. Remember, before Pluto's discovery in 1930, Mars was the classical co-ruler of Scorpio, and it rules the procreative, regenerative forces. Very serious energy, as it is always when we're dealing with Scorpio and Pluto in the eighth house. Mhm. Oh, now, the root chakra is a storehouse of available energy. The same available energy we also see in the sacral when it differentiates into the woman. And this is something that a lot of material scientists don't want to talk about, but the actual strength of the root chakra comes from the sacral. The chakras here, along with the meridians, is the only chakra on the base, root, and sacral that does a loop to each other. We don't see this with the other chakras, but we see it with the root and the sacral. Where instead of the sacral being the last in development that we can see, it's actually the I don't know, it should be the sacral because that is anatomically speaking where the bones actually end. Well, from the L5, then we go to the S1, which is the sacral. It's called the sacral, but it has been changed to root for three different bones. But technically speaking, it is the sacral. So the root is really the sacral, but it has been differentiated. And that's very interesting because in the story of Adam and Eve, it tells you that Eve was taken out of Adam, right? And I knew that was bullshit. Even when I heard it, it's bullshit. Adam was taken out of the woman because the first hermaphrodite on the planet was a woman with female and male genitalia, not a man with a male and female genitalia. It was a woman. So it makes sense that the sacral is the tail end of the spinal anatomy of the human being. That it is still sacral, hinting to its anthropological past, where a man really was a woman, and then the rib, and then what the church said, the rib was taken out of what is it? Adam, the left rib out of Adam, and created Eve. A total bullshit. Did not happen like that. It was Adam that was taken out of Eve and made separate. Man came from a woman, and today man still comes out of a woman's pussy, not the other way around. And nothing in nature shows that. The church flipped it around politically as we enter the patriarch age and made the man in control and the woman the subjugee. That was political. But Darwin's as science, no, it's supposed to be the other way around, not this way. When I read the story, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I don't give birth. How's that possible? Nature doesn't show that. You don't see that in nature. What's going on? That's Miss Farmer calling me. How are you, Miss Farmer? You on the air?
I am.
Yes, I'm alive on the tablet. How are you? And I mentioned about what you did, the courageous thing about catching that guy, the email, compiling it, and giving it to the police. Phenomenal woman, everybody. Phenomenal woman. That is the child of Oshun. Mrs. Keisha Farmer. She did a phenomenal job. If I did not have you at my side, I wouldn't know what to do. And I'm saying it out loud in front of everybody so you know that it's time to give credit where credit is due.
Thank you. Make sure you thank the subscribers who were on top of it as well.
Yeah, I sure have.
The email address.
I sure have. I'm waiting for them to get their free reading. I'm waiting for them to call me for their free reading. They were just wonderful. All of you who have been on top of it and been working on it and been like troopers, and that meant so much to me. I'm so glad. Yeah, Miss Farmer, how can I do for you? We're here talking about the sacral or the root chakra.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Oh, Miss Farmer, she's very private. Very private. Scorpio. So, having said that, the preservation of the procreative forces. And then I went down the list: the rose sex, judgment, the ability to experience joy, and also it represents the earthly manifestation of the ego. So therefore, and I hear it's very interesting because I did mention in the solar plexus video that the seat of the ego and the personality is at the solar plexus. It is here where we exercise our will to obtain what we want and to have the confidence to know that we're going to get it no matter what. Well, you see me. I'm a perfect example of a highly developed solar plexus. Ain't nobody gonna tell me anything about me that I don't agree or approve of concerning me. Ain't nobody gonna try to make me feel in a certain way or try to make me feel bad about myself. No, 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 no. I'm too strong, and that's why I get the type of reception that I get. Because of my strength, and people tend not to like strong people. It's human nature. So you really get it. This is why I get such intense blockages and experiences, because it matches my strength of will. I don't let these things knock me down. If anything, I will not go to bed until I figure out a way. And I come out swinging with the airy sword. And I already know that I'm going to win. So that makes me just as more powerful of an adversary as they are. Because that's toe to toe. This is the strength of being comfortable with self and loving self. Like me nurturing myself with wonderful fresh flowers. That shows that I love me and I love myself. That's a strong solar plexus. No one can knock you down when you have a strong solar plexus. And when you are happy and comfortable with who you are, nobody can take that away from you. But that begins at the root chakra in its development. Mm. What causes the nurturing of the solar plexus at its height of development, which begins at the root chakra, the way you're raised, the way you were brought up? Was there stability in the home? Was there communication? Did mother and father live together in the same home? Did they give you good foundation, good value system? Will you emulate them when you become older and have your own children and family? If all things are equal, then it should be a wonderful, blissful journey towards adulthood, manhood, womanhood, and then godity. And then from there, whether you come back, reincarnate, and be a healer and serve humanity, or if you've done bad, you're being forced to come back and pay karmic retribution by living a very difficult earthly life. That can be the case too. So the root chakra is the germinal seed which carries everything that's going to sprout. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about what happens when there's a damage or blockages at the root chakra and how this affects the development of the ego in the solar plexus and the personality, because it's all connected. Now remember, the power of the chakra system is the solar plexus, but the foundation begins at the root chakra. Yeah. Now, don't make me cuss you out. Hey, hey. Okay. I don't know what time it is. I only have a contract to do an hour. I have to come back and do another part two play. All right. It's a lot to cover, you know. It takes me days to write this out, to meditation, and then put it out there. Hmm. Right, exactly what I'm discussing. It represents the scaffolding for the unfolding ego and personality. And again, if you are loved and nurtured, yes, yes, I can hear you. If you are loved and nurtured, then you're gonna have a healthy sense of self and a form of happiness of self. And that's beautiful, provided that all things are equal. Because if there's trauma here, then it's fucked up. And it is indeed. Because once the root chakra is blocked or damaged, it sets the tone for the damage and blockages of all the other chakras. Now we have psychosis, neurosis, personality disorders, ADHD, ADD, bipolarism, and all these things that social scientists define as aberrant personality disorders. What they're not understanding that this is a basis of an end result due to a disbalance of something else. And that something else is the disbalance of the chakra system, the worst being the root chakra, the foundation on which all the other chakras rest. It is a storehouse, the root chakra, of available energy. Okay, a vortex of outflowing energy directed downwards allows for the manifestation of your desires, which is born through the brow chakra and then executed through the strength of will by the solar plexus. This is another loop to the solar plexus. Very complex, very complex. I'm still myself trying to learn it. It's very, very complex. Acupuncturists of Asia are fantastic, and reflexologists understand this, and they're very complex. But it fascinates me, and it's very intricate as it also applies to the meridians, which are thousands of them. And it's amazing how in Asia, and I was in Hong Kong a couple of months ago, about I think 8, 9 months ago, and it was a you could see how some of them spend their whole lives learning this, their whole lives. It truly is a sacrifice. But it's amazing. It's amazing because it awards us so much more knowledge of something that here in the West we're not accustomed to. Since medicine here in the West is so different than it is in the East, And I'm glad to see that finally there is a merging of the two. That's going to take place in the Aquarian age now, and thank you, holistic medicine, homeopathic medicine, culture, and all that. That's the real. That's when it puts it all together. Even psychological well-being is connected to all of the function of the body, the wellness. I love the fact that there is a movement heading towards wellness programs that is going to be the new face of medicine. It won't be butchery like it was during the Piscean age. Also, the root chakra is the chakra where you can experience spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening. The seat of the coiled serpent, the Kundalini. Oh, you all heard about it? Sure, you have. Of course, you have. You've heard of the Kundalini energy, the sleeping serpent. Again, connecting us to Scorpio, the eighth house, and Pluto. Force by any means necessary, including death. Oh, yeah. There's no fucking around with Scorpio. So you don't know that. It is the king and queen of promulgative and procreative forces. That which allow us to procreate and duplicate. There's a lot to be said about that. And we attribute that to Scorpio, Pluto, and the eighth house. In this instance, it will not be Mars, Aries, or the first house. This, because it is the procreative forces, even though Aries rules sex, this is exclusively Pluto and Scorpio. Very dangerous to access this type of energy. You could lose your mind or go mentally insane, or the personality can fragment and destabilize. Very dangerous. Of course, as it always is, with Scorpio and Pluto and the eighth house. Okay, one knows if the Kundalini energy or the Kundalini force has risen. There are ways to tell if you've reached or you've tapped into that primordial force. I think in my lifetime, I've met two people. Two people who have tapped into this reserve of energy. And when you meet them, oh my God, they are, they are very it's weird. It's weird. They vibrate differently. And then when they walk, they almost feel like they're floating. It's a little eerie. Oh yeah, yeah. I witnessed that in China. Oh yeah, they moved almost like water, like Neptune, no, ethereal, and they knew you were coming to see them a day before. Ain't that a bitch? Their mind in the second open is fierce, and it's a coiled serpent. As it rises up, it goes boom, 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 and opens up all of the chakra in such a very strong way that it can cause the personality of the ego to fragment and go into a state of psychosis or insanity. Yeah, I believe that's what happened to Solomon, King Solomon. King Solomon was dealing with all kinds of energies, and he became mentally insane and was speaking gibberish like a crazy man in the streets of Israel. This was the man that was the king of kings. My God, he built the temple in 585 BC. And then when it was destroyed by the Assyrians, he rebuilt the second temple, which again was destroyed again by the Philistines. But the thing is that it was built by demons. And this man was a master because of the pentagram. We owe that to Solomon. He knew how to use it. I have the same pentacle. And it is the glory of the crown on earth, but the polarity, which is the kippah, which is discussed in Judaism, the dark negative energy of the inverted tree of life, is the archonic energy in which we now have to battle to balance. This battle of balance begins at the root chakra. It's deep. It's deep. And it's about to get deeper. Uh-oh.
I couldn't find that name in your contacts. Do you have their phone number?
Something happened. What happened? What happened? Am I still alive?
I couldn't find that name in your contacts.
You guys are hearing
Do you
this?
have their phone
Are you
number?
guys hearing this? It opened by itself and it's still speaking. Do you hear this? I want you to witness this.
I found a few matches
Do
for
you
that.
hear?
Did you mean I'm still
That's the
alive?
archons doing that. Why did you press that button?
Here's what I found.
Now, unbelievable. What do you want me to see? I don't know how long I've been on the air. I don't know. These churches have been taken away. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if you guys can see me. I look like I'm still alive. But I'm going to end the stream and come back to do part 2. That might have been a warning.